Optimus Prime is by far the most iconic character in Transformers. Whenever there's any new Transformers show, there's an Optimus Prime in it. And the most popular. And I see that time and time again. And there's been a million iterations of Optimus Prime. But MP-44 gave us the closest to screen accurate that we're going to get. Well, maybe we'll get a more screen accurate. I don't know how it'd be possible to get more screen accurate. But the thing is, I'm going to here today to talk about the good and the bad of MP-44. Why there's so much hatred for it. Why there's so much love for it, because there's a lot to love about it. I'm also going to talk to you about breakages, price, and all those kinds of things. We're going to be getting into all of that stuff here in a few. I also have a poll that I put out. I do want to say thanks to you guys for responding to that poll. It's very smooth. Gave me some data, and I'm going to talk about that when I think of the poll. And then I got a little extra footage. So at the end, I'm just going to roll some extra footage that I have that I thought was interesting that I just did not put in the actual review. And I just don't think a review is a good place for a discussion in this day and age. So discussions should be separate, right? So we're going to start by talking about the hatred for this thing and what's bad. And the first thing, just right there, price. $450 is the suggested price on this thing. And I want to say that it's not a $450 figure, in my opinion. Now, maybe 10 years from now, with inflation, that's where we are. But it's moving price-wise too fast. Prices are going up way too fast, and I agree with that. Now, I paid $328, and all the people that I know that got it from Amazon Japan paid the $328. And so I want to say that that's still a bit hefty, but within realm. I really think $250 was a very reasonable number for this because it is a high-end collectible. It's painted head to toe. It is beautiful. It's the articulation I've never seen on an action figure that transforms like this. And there's so much going for us. We'll get into the good later. But the bad is the price. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say $450, oh, it's a great price. You're getting a bargain. You're not getting a bargain. Like if you put this next to Unicron, this isn't, 75% of a Unicron. But then the engineering on this and the quality feel to it, it feels quality. Unless you're one of the people that broke your knee. But we'll be talking about that too. So yes, there's some hatred for it. The other thing is, I noticed that people that have bought something else, it's like, it's almost human nature to want to protect your investment. Like I bought this figure, and I like the figure I have, and I don't want to spend more money on another one. And guess what? You know what? It's human nature. I do it all the time, and I did it with MP-36. I was sitting with my Apollyon, and I said, it's not $250 for that thing? Like I already paid $150 for Apollyon. Apollyon's no longer a $150 figure. I've dealt with that. And I didn't buy the MP-36. So what did I do? I sat around for a year or longer with no MP-36. When the KO came out, I bought it, and I was like, wow, this thing's amazing. Like, I see what everybody else was saying about this. But I was actually an MP-36 hater. I was an MP-36 hater because of the price. And because the KOs came out, sold me on that figure is why I even bought this. And I'm happy I bought it. I don't need to defend my purchase or anything. And I'm enjoying it on my shelf right now. And I'll buy a KO when it comes out also to do a comparison. Next, talk about some QC issues. Now, you buy a figure that's $450 or $328, you expect the highest level of quality control. But the reality of it is there's always going to be, in every manufacturing, they factor in about 1.5% defect rate. There have been reports of paint chipping and scratching and chipping and blemishes. I cannot find any paint imperfections on mine at all. But I'm real careful with it to not chip it. If you watched my transformation, you saw that. The broken knee thing is, man, that's terrible. And that sucks. And I saw on TFW 2005 that was like a repair on it and showing you how it needs to be clipped in a certain way. And I just was pulling my knee, just moving it to see, like, is mine set up the way this guy says you should have it set up? And I think I had mine set up right. I think I did a slow enough transformation. I took my time and I did it pretty much right, and it was in there right. But I don't know. It's almost like I took from that, if you transformed it wrong, you could break it. And I don't like that. If that's true, and just because you transformed it wrong, you'll break a knee joint, that's still not cool in my book. But I don't have a knee joint problem. And I literally just did a ridiculous amount of posing for some pictures for this video that you're seeing right now. and had no trouble with either of the two knee joints, because there are two knee joints in each leg. So there's that. I also am hearing that people are getting replacements. Like if they got a broken knee, they're getting a replacement. And I've seen, I think Extra Zero had one that got replaced, and the new one, he's noticing differences in it. Like it's, you know, like they made running production fixes to it. And guess what? In manufacturing, that happens. You start manufacturing stuff, you go, hey, we're having an issue with this. Let's fix it and change it. But how come the first 500 didn't get fixed? I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing the rest of them are fixed after that. Who knows? Mine came later than everybody else that I knew was getting from Amazon Japan. And so if there was running fixes, I think mine may have gotten those. Because I don't have the problems that everyone's saying, but I have different problems, to tell you the truth. And they're not big by any way, shape, or form. People say that it's wobbly, and I've seen some shake tests out there that terrify me. Like, I could see doing a shake test, right? I did a shake test. I would not want to shake it like a rag doll like these people are doing. That's insane. But where he has ratcheted joints, it holds tight. You put him in a pose, he stays. I had him on a one-legged stance. Like Superman up and away. One-legged stance. Like jump. And that's one leg. There's nothing else holding him up. That's one foot holding him in place. And I mean, I'm impressed with that articulation there. But people look at the shake tests and the crazy wobbliness and say that it's bad quality. But the reality is this thing is made up of 100 plus parts that are coming together and clipping and tabbing together to make it into a great looking, well, both modes look great, with some in the alt mode, some of the kibble in the back. But I think it looks amazing, and have this level of articulation and it look this good, man, I don't know. Next, the backpack. The backpack is an issue. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is an issue. It's not a big issue though, and I've heard a lot of feedback about they're glad that they have the electronics in it, and then some's like, "Oh, I wish there was no electronics in a flatter backpack." And in the end, I look at mine from the front. But in the cartoon, he does have a bit of a backpack. Now, this may be a little bit bigger than the cartoon, but it's not hateful. I don't think that it's something like a deal breaker. But you know, that's one of the things people complain about. People also complain about the panel line, and that's true. Like, it has a lot of panel lines from where things clip together to make it. But from a distance that I look at it, I'm about 10 feet away from my display shelf. I can't detect one panel line from here, because up close you can see it, but from here I don't see it, and it looks amazing standing in there. I can see all the paint glistening though on mine. And then the flight stand. Oh, the flight stand. Okay, so you can see right here that the flight stand doesn't lock in place all the way. And I've been told by a viewer that you basically need to take it apart and shave down the little piece that slides in, the lock itself that slides into the notch to lock it in place. You need to shave that down. So I haven't done that to my flight stand. But the thing is, no, you shouldn't have to be doing this kind of stuff. Like, it should work right out of the box. There's a 1,000 gimmicks to this thing, but every gimmick should work right, and especially for the price. Then another issue, so I had the issue with the flight stand, and the other issue is with the blast effects. Now, there's a little, in this picture, you see at the end of his barrel of his gun, he has a piece of the blast effect, and then the rest of the blast effect, it needs to be glued or something. And I was going to glue it, but I was like, there's got to be, maybe there's a reason that it separates, and I just don't know yet. Maybe there's something else that works with that, and that's why it separates. I don't know. So I've left it alone just because I don't know if there's a reason it's not glued. But that's annoying. It really is annoying. And it happened to me, and I was thinking about commenting it on in the video, in the review, but I didn't. But I'm commenting on it now. Okay, so there's the bad. If you have any issues with yours, please let me know what issues you have with yours. Now let's get into the good on this thing. All right, so it has excellent articulation. I have done some pictures of crazy poses just to see what I could get out of this guy, and he does some amazing stuff. I really am impressed with articulation. If you can think it, you can do it with this guy. It's pretty awesome. Also, It looks super G1. Like, there's no doubt that this is a G1 Prime. That's just the way it is. Like, you see that is Prime. That is Prime. A lot of people were, including myself, were skeptical about the pelvis, and I think they pulled this pelvis area off way better than I ever thought it could. I was like, wow, that's impressive. The other thing is the playability in this guy. You have so much playability. There's so much you can do with him. It's very impressive. I'm shocked, like, how good it is. To me, articulation, I think we've come a long way, and I think this is going a bit further with it. So pretty awesome, actually. And I didn't expect so many features. I didn't expect, like, all the stuff with the trailer. To me, it's just a trailer. Like, they put a lot of time and thought and effort into that trailer, that's for sure. And then it shows Takara. Well, they're in the game. They are in the game. They are here to win this. They show who the big dog is. A lot of people have said Fans Toys needs to make a Prime and see what they could do. And I'm curious what Fans Toys would look like. Like, could they beat this? I don't know, man. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And then the sound effects. Like, you've got Peter Cullen's voice in there. And first of all, that was something that when I pre-ordered this late in 2018, whenever it first came up for pre-order, I didn't know that. Like, I was thinking I was going to wait for a KO to get the sound effect. I'm impressed. I'm very pleased with that piece. And then the last plus is the fact that this exists means there will be a KO. If Takara never made this thing, there'd never be a KO. And if there never was a KO of this thing, then we just have the other options. But I think this is the best of the best. And for all of the haters out there saying it's too panely, it's not clean enough, and all that, when you have this thing in hand, it's just like MP-36. I don't know anybody out there, well, probably 3 or 4 people out there, but there's a handful of people out there that don't really care for the MP-36 aesthetic, and I appreciate that. I mean, that's your choice and your opinion. But MP-36 blew me away, and I'm feeling the same feelings with this guy. Okay, so let's get into our poll results here. The poll results show, survey says, MP-44 and MP-10 are equal. Now, I did say include KOs, because down the road MP-44 is going to have a KO too. And I have a feeling this chart will shift when the KOs come out for that. But just like the mold itself, which one of those molds is on your shelf? And I asked this question. First, thanks for the response in that. The 397 votes, and probably by the time I get this up, it'll be over 400 or something. But that was a very good response to this, and it gives me some data. Now, I set this poll up the way I did on purpose. MP-44 at the top, then Transform Element, then Magic Square, then MP-10. And just in my mind, from the comments that I've gotten, I thought that it would be easily MP-44 number 1, Transform Element 2, Magic Square 3, and MP-10 4. This information tells me a whole different story. It says that a lot of people, are supporting the official design. They like the MP-10. A lot of them still have that. A lot of people never bought into the Magic Square or the Transform Element. I mean, 30% are not displaying that. If they did pick one of those up, they don't like them as much as their MP-10 is what this is telling me. A lot of things that I'm hearing too is like with the MP-44, like we know we're not going to get a KO by the end of the year, but I bet this will shift when that comes out. And the 44, this shows that the people who got it love it, and the people who are holding off on their 10, they love what they have. Takeaway from all of this, the discussion I want with all of this, is if you like your MP-10, or you're just satisfied with it, you don't feel like spending all the money to buy MP-44, you don't need to. Like, there's no need to buy it. Enjoy what you have. And the number one comment that really resonated with me was, I'd rather spend that money on characters I don't have yet. That is very good sense. That makes a lot of sense. And if that's where you stand, that's where you stand. So I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit to think about here. If you don't want to buy the MP-44, there's nobody forcing you to. I just want the people who feel like they don't want to spend the money on that but can still appreciate what was accomplished with this release. I would rather myself to get some Takara figures, characters that have not been made yet. I think Hound is probably more looked forward to than Prime, even though Prime is the most iconic. But Hound is a character that doesn't have a whole lot of options, and Takara hasn't made yet. I mean, we have a Fans Toys and we have some others, but Takara hasn't taken a shot at it yet. Takara needs to give us a Mirage. Takara needs to give us these other ones. MP-44 is great. Don't come give us a version 4 Prime in 6 or 8 years. Keep giving us other characters. Enjoy some of this footage that I'm going to have for you. Like, subscribe to Darren Hanger out. Right, so let's get on to more features with this guy. Looking at his hand, when you pop it off, you just pop it off. That's a little scary. It's a little creepy. It rotates up and down. I don't know if I've got it in there good enough. I feel like I've stressed that plastic, but it's not. It's just the angle. Anyway, there you go. Up and down. And you can get into a really dynamic pose with this axe. Looking at his shoulder articulation in there too, you have a really deep butterfly. So he can actually hold the blazing sword. So yeah, like this thing's shipping like within the same week as MP-10, the official, of course. And here, let's see if he can hold the blazing sword. And all that goodness. He says, "Move out of the way." He actually says,